Basketball was my first love, man, before anything. I still love the game now, but I just love it differently. I am who I am today because of the game. It molded my mental, my physical, my manhood, but the culture is who I am too. Let's get straight to it.
Straight Shooters Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Shooters Podcast, where we talk raw, authentic, real, unfiltered perspectives about the game of basketball and other sports as well. We also merge the bridge with cultural topics such as politics, social injustices, social justices, as well as fashion, music, life, etc. We have a very dope guest today. He is the prime example of how to create opportunity from basketball, from the game of basketball. A very long career, was fortunate enough to play a decade plus, 25 years?
18 years.
18 years professionally. So that professional career had some longevity to it, a lot of milestones along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Hines, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, just to give the world some understanding on what you come from, and your journey through basketball, your upbringing, and where you are in the season of life now. Just tell the world a little bit about who you are and what you're about.
Well, my name is Samuel Hines. I'm the youngest of four boys. Unfortunately, about a year ago, my brother, the oldest brother, passed away due to COVID.
Condolences.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
it.
Condolences.
So I really miss him, but we kind of take those lessons from our parents. I grew up around in New Common, North Carolina, one-stop country boy who didn't believe he could travel the world. So I didn't focus in school. I didn't believe in school. I didn't hate school. Right. No one pushed me.
Right.
But on the athletic field, I was always pushed to perform and to do your best. But I never, as an adult, I never understood why they didn't push me academically either. So I got a chance to travel the world. And I was walking in France and seeing all the things I saw in the school book, and I couldn't, describe what it was, but I remember because I'm a visual person. And now I'm questioning myself, I let myself down. So that's why I started my foundation. So kids in the future, you're not going to do what I did. You're not going to think that you can't make it when, if you just stay focused and put in the time, just like you do on the sports field, as well as the classroom, you can be very successful. So that's why I have my foundation, Secure the Mind Foundation, to help the next generation.
That is a very good topic to touch on. That was down the road. I did research on you. I was going to bring that up, but since you brought it up, just tell me the impact that really sparked that. So I know you just kind of said that, but when you talk about what was that light bulb that made you say, you know what? I went through this, but there had to be something, a particular situation or a couple situations or circumstances that made you just say, you know what, I want to give back. I want to drop gems on the youth and show them how to navigate through things they may never learn.
When I look back over the years and I saw, of course, Duke University perform, I remember the time that I had a chance to be recruited, that I was recruited by Mike Krzyzewski.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't know that. And when he sat in my gym and met my parents and noticed I was a good kid, we were in church, we were seniors, 6, 7 seniors, and he asked me what my GPA was. And I said, literally, 2.2. He looked at me like, I can't believe it. And I was like, what? I'm still clueless. I'm Sam Hines. I got a nice goatee. I'm going to do it. And he was like, no, you're not. And that's when I had to go to Chipola Junior College. And I remember that feeling, like I let myself down. The times I was in classroom trying to be the class clown and stop and not listening to the teacher, I brought that on myself. I mean, I played 5 sports my senior year, and I still had time enough to study when you look back. But no one, again, the adults in my life, they didn't push us like I push the kids today. When you came to my camps back in the day, my first question or my first speech to the kids was like, I hope you like school because you have to be not an athlete student, a student athlete to succeed.
That's
and
huge.
For me, sports isn't all of that.
Definitely.
It's 0.001% chance that athlete will make it.
Definitely.
It's not a good chance. There's a lot of other opportunities to be a professional, and that's what when I get in front of kids, they're gonna hear that story from me. You can try to strive to be an athlete, but let that be your backup, and be academia. That's more important for our future generation to be successful.
Definitely. So when you think about the upbringing in North Carolina, and you think about the high school you went to, you touched on it a tad bit, your recruiting status and Coach K, and so this is something I talked about with my other guest, Jelon Kendrick, good friend of mine. There are things that we won't know when we're going through it, but then we look back and like, dang, I wish I knew this. And what would you say that you were just focused on just basketball? Would you say, since now that okay, student athlete, that's not just a term, that's actually what it takes to get to the next level? Because me in a similar situation, I couldn't reach certain goals because of my grades coming out of high school, and I had to settle for a certain situation. My options were limited because of grades. And there are ways around that now. And even then, when I was playing JUCO, and also playing in other Division IIs, NAIAs, whatever the case might be, just transferring, however it works. There's so many different ways to do it. But when you think about it, we didn't really have, like you said, the people in our lives or just the tools, the resources, because it's just basketball. All we knew is basketball. So the real question I'm asking you is, what really happened when you were in high school, as far as, because you made it to be a pro. A lot of guys aspire to be a professional, not just a professional, but have longevity and good fortune, and be able to play through any little nicks and bruises, politics, different culture shocks in different countries. It can be a lot, and that's just me saying that from the outside, not being in your shoes. But a lot of guys don't get a chance to even get there. You overcame the academics early, and you still made it. So what would you say was your end goal, like your motivation to say, you know what, I'm a pro, I want to do this? What burned that fire in you to make it that far?
What burned the fire into me was just having confidence that I could do it. When you continue to watch Michael Jordan on TV, you see him each time he's in front of the mic, he's articulate. He's more of a businessman.
Yes.
And you're encouraged to. It's like I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to get there. I would watch after a college game. You'll have the player of the game. It'll say his his major, and he has a 3.5 and all that. I like that, but I didn't know how to get there. I thought that I could just kind of get by on my athletic ability. Everybody's going to love me. No one's going to ever say no to me, and that's what these kids need to realize. You're not the only guy out there trying to go at this goal.
That's huge.
And now it's international.
Yeah.
So I was the athlete that got a chance to play overseas, and I saw all of that happening.
Definitely.
Those international guys working hard, not complaining, not getting in trouble, not missing curfew, just because you scored 30 points.
Right.
If the curfew's at 1, it's at 1. They don't care if you score 30 points. Follow the rules. When you go overseas, and I played in 9 different countries, different things, different rules were different.
Right.
You go to Israel, you see somebody at the airport with Uzis. Like, I'm like,
it's a whole different, right? It's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different vibe.
Like, hey man, you go into the malls in Israel, they're checking your bags. They had a different situation going on over there. Mexico, we're on a bus, shanties. It's 99 degrees. You see kids out there about 9 o'clock, 90 degrees, 95, hot, smiling.
Wow.
Playing with each other. And you come to America with our spoiled young kids, like, not appreciative. So, I saw a lot, man. I just had to make sure these kids realize that they are fortunate. You have an opportunity, especially with technology, to be anything you want to be. You know, just stay out of trouble, stay off drugs. Don't even get caught up with that stuff because you know you're gonna pass away or you're gonna be in jail. It's not a good end game.
Definitely. I agree with you on that. Especially if you have aspirations to play athletics, you know, there's just certain things that don't mesh.
No.
And we all know that, you know, it's just like putting something in your body and you know that it's not good for you, or you know that it's not going to help your type of situation with your body. You know, don't do it. I mean, we all have trial and error. We all make mistakes, but you know, when it comes to that, decision making does play a role into your success and where you'll end up. So the next thing, I was doing some research on you, and I see the Up with Kids Sports Incorporated. Just elaborate on that for me a little bit.
When I retired, my wife was like, "Hey, what you gonna be getting into?" Right before I retired, and I took my daughter to Summit Hill Elementary. The principal asked me, you know, do you do any basketball training? And I said, yeah, I wasn't doing anything. So we started an after-school enrichment program. 30 kids signed up just like that. So we had a full house.
Right.
Then I've got a magnetic sign for the car. Next thing you know, other schools want it. So we were in 5 schools like almost overnight. I got 150 kids.
Straight Shooters Podcast.
And how Upward Kids Sports got started was a principal asked me, would you do after-school enrichment program? And we started at Summit Hill Elementary. 30 kids signed up. And next thing you know, I was asked to do 4 of the schools. So we had 150 kids overnight. So if I had your child 1 hour a week, parents came to me, kids love the program, very disciplined. Do you have something else outside of school? That's when we started to try to look for property. So we got a chance maybe a year later to open up Hoops and Sand Academy.
In Alpharetta.
So we just kind of changed the name. In Cumming. This was in Cumming.
Oh, this was in Cumming,
Off
right.
Exit 13.
Okay, so it's a little bit further north, okay.
So we were able to do travel teams, after-school enrichment programs, birthday parties out of that facility, court rentals. It went well. The issue it was just a little bit too far out. So we still stayed open for 3 years. After that, took a little break from there and focused on my own kids and try to attend more games. And now in the future,
that's important.
Yeah,
proud
sure.
Father.
Yeah,
definitely.
So for the future, we're looking to kind of open that gym up again with some investors that want to see my future program.
For sure, and that's promising because I mean the kids listen, and they listen to people who have. They want to feel confident. They want to feel confident in people who have done what they're trying to do. And not just do what they're trying to do, but actually teaching. It's one thing to lead by example, but it's another thing to teach and lead by example. You just get a different dynamic on the receiving end as a young one, for the youth. Period. So I'll jump a little bit over to the left, and I do see that you were in the Hall of Fame. You are in the Hall of Fame in Cantu, Italy.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what that took to get to that point, and the ball club you played for out there, and that whole environment for you.
Well, it took to get in the Hall of Fame at that point, a lot of hours in the gym.
Right.
After practices, you will find me in the gym, maybe an extra hour, shooting by myself. Days off, getting in the gym somehow, and just visualizing what you're going to do in the game, making those tough shots so that, important ball fake, up and under, shooting with your left, shooting with your right. And then just playing against a lot of great guys like Manu Ginobili, Tyus Edney, Al Four, I'm not sure if you know him, great player.
Yes.
Bellinelli, he was another Argentinian guy.
Oh, yeah, Bellinelli can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Baby Shaq.
Play against him, Baby Shaq. So he was on my team. Got a chance to play against Baby Shaq, kind of 5-on-5 situation, and he didn't want to play, and I was the next biggest guy. And he said, nobody can guard me. And I said to him, I'll guard you. I said, I'm going to guard you, and I bet you won't score. Pissed him off. He puts on his shoes. By the time we play, he's got 0, I got 25. He could not believe it. I was like a deer. And Shaq.
You were in shape.
Shaq at that time, he'd go up and down 5-6 times. He's winded, so I just knew I had him after that. So
right.
Total different respect at that point. Because I grew up in North Carolina, run and shoot in Atlanta. I played aggressive basketball with some of the best players. So just because you're bigger doesn't mean you're going to take advantage of me. So it's ways of maneuvering and getting around people like that. So that all of that, as well as my brother and Thomas McCants, my trainer, just putting all that together, tough basketball in Mexico, prepared me to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Italy.
That's huge. That's huge. Congratulations on
It doesn't
that
happen
too.
overnight. Yes.
It does not. It does not. That takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Speaking on Manu, how was it playing against Manu?
It was, when they come in the gym, it's a big name. You're taking it all in. Balls tossed. I always said, I put on my shorts just like you put on your shorts.
That's a big one.
I have passion just as well as you. Sometimes the dream that I wanted to have, making it to the NBA, when I didn't study and and have other doors open for me, God might have closed some doors so I can then have my foundation to help the future generation. But playing against Manu, very smart player, played fundamental basketball, played together with his team, and they were hard to beat because they didn't care who scored.
Right.
Like these kids you see today on TV, it's hard for me to watch personally. I would turn the TV literally. If you don't see certain things happening, it's just kind of like you're going to be that selfish and not just give your teammate 2 points.
100%.
And you'll lose a game. You see
100%. You'll lose championships that way.
And if I was coaching teams, when I was coaching little ones, they understood. If you don't have a good shot, you got about 1-2 seconds with the ball, keep it moving.
Swing it.
Kind of that Golden State mentality. Move, man. It's hard to guard, somebody who's always moving. I hate guarding players like that.
Man,
So
it's tiring. I was one of those guys. Moving around, man.
So again, Manu with a good core, won a lot of championships over there. I was blessed to be named on a first team All-Star with him 1 year.
I saw that in 01.
Yeah. So people when I was coaching the kids here, they couldn't believe it. I said, yeah. They said, so you were that good, coach? Yeah, I was okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're playing at that high level and you're getting those type of accolades, the work speaks for itself. The accolades speak for itself. But a lot of people don't understand, like you said, the hours you put in, the countless hours. I had a podcast with the first episode with Jelon, and he said something to me that really resonated. I said, how long did it take for that to pay off? He said, when I was 4 years old, that's when I was locked in and learned how to play the game of basketball. But it took me that long to 16 years old for that moment to pay off. All those hours that I put in, those moments when you're 16, those moments when you're 20 and you have your career high 32 points in 01. I was going to ask you next about that. But that takes you've been working your entire life for those moments. And a lot of people don't think about it that way because when you're trying to execute a plan, when you're trying to execute a goal or just something that you aspire to do, you got to really dissect it and you got to start. You can't just start out running. So you have to put those hours in. It's not gonna. Some people are gifted, in any field to just be God-givenly great. It does take work. LeBron didn't just turn out that way. Michael didn't just turn out that way. And Michael's a workhorse. Kobe's a workhorse. LeBron's a workhorse. So they've been working all their lives for these moments that they've shown. And it's just a testimony to guys like yourself who persevere and really strive for greatness, because it's not something that you do and you're just like, oh, I want to be mediocre. No, you're trying to be the best.
I compete in. We got a marble game going on. I'm gonna compete in a marble game.
Definitely.
I was playing with my friend golf. We're playing golf, and for me, which I'm gonna tell them next time, can we just bet on $5? 18 holes,
make it competitive. Definitely, make it competitive.
So I was telling my man over here, when I shoot pool, I shoot ambidextrous. I channel left, channel to the right, as well as on the basketball court. I can shoot with my left hand, and I shock people all the time, and they just do. Who are you? I'm like, I just like competing, and it allows you to kind of rest your right hand,
Definitely,
and then strengthen, kind of balance the body out. But,
Definitely.
A lot of time in the gyms with some great people. Some things that pushed me was when you kept playing and you started to beating your brothers who used to beat the crap out of you, because I'm the youngest of four. And then you, who else did I beat one time? Then we were number one in the state. You always saw these big teams. Now it's your turn. You're number one in the state. captain of the team.
That's big time.
Athlete of the year
That's big
in high
time.
school. Out of like 2,000 kids, they chose you.
Right.
5 sports, but your GPA is 2.2. That was so sad. You know, I would have given up 2-3 sports to focus on school if I knew where it was going to take me for
Definitely.
sure. So that always bothers me when people say, "Oh, let it go." I say, "But I haven't. Like, I was a good kid. I didn't do any drugs.
Definitely.
I would listen. You tell my mom, you know, okay, I'll straighten up. But other than that, man, just a lot of interesting opportunities that I missed out on. And so I make sure my kids and the kids that come in front of me, they will not, you know, they will hear it from me.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking at a few things, and I see you played alongside, I don't want to mispronounce, Ademola Akulaya, UNC guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I know you played. Well, he played beside Vince Carter. I'm sorry.
Yep.
How was it playing against him or with him?
Well, not to brag, he was one of the easier ones.
Right.
I mean, I just play basketball. To me, you just catch and shoot, you rip. I think one of the things on the website was where I was dribbling by him. Just be decisive in what you do. But I don't really recall him shutting me down. I just don't. And just to correct you, was like saying my career high was 32.
Yes.
My career high was 65.
Wow. On what ball club?
That was in, I think, Poland.
So
Yes,
research is wrong because they got you down for
well, 32. maybe in
32.
Italy.
That was the 10 where you shot 10 for 11.
Yeah, that's in Italy. That was against Rome.
Okay. Yeah, and you shot 93% from the field. That was nuts.
Yeah.
That was nuts. Unbelievable. That's lock in right there.
Missed my first shot, and I just went off.
Right, and that's you got to lock in for that.
And that's the thing about me. People don't realize I didn't really have the green light.
Really.
I was just consistent, and that's what I teach. Like, you know, just don't shoot a shot just to shoot it. You got to be locked in, triple threat. You know, get the body ready maybe for the next shot. And we work on those things in my training. If you don't go 6 for 10 in a certain situation, you got to sprint. It's like it's always consequences.
Definitely.
I always push myself.
You have to.
Yep.
You have to. That's something that's important.
And the things that, like the Steph Curry with his training, I look at some of the great things he does, and I'm like, damn, I was doing that years ago.
100%.
Like, same mentality. That's how I was, yeah.
And well, to piggyback off that, I see also that you won the MVP in South Carolina, South America. I'm sorry, South America. Talk about that a little bit.
Is that Mexico?
I believe so.
When I left college, I was chosen to go to try out for the USBL. Went to West Palm Beach. After that season, I was recruited to go to Mexico in the Juarez, right borders El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
Went over, great group of Mexican players. My boy Greg Hillman, befriended him and Steve Spurlock, 3 Americans on the team, balling. These guys can play. Average 31.
Wow.
And that was one of the most aggressive teams or leagues that I've ever played in because they let you hold and all that. And you got to get through it.
Referee's different. Officiating's different.
And yeah, you just got to know how to push them off appropriately without charging.
Right.
And you got to figure it out.
Definitely.
And so I just trained that run and shoot. It was really nothing new because every time I get off the plane, I always hear this. It's tough over here. I hope you can hang. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then I drop 30. I'm like, again, I go to Venezuela. It's tough over here. Okay. So that's the crazy part. I went to Argentina. Manu Ginobili is watching me because he's 7 years younger. So when Magic Johnson came back from HIV to get in shape, he was coming to play against our team for exhibition games. So this when I meet Magic.
Wow.
So I'm meeting Magic, chopping it up. Game starts. I'm doing well. Magic posts me up. And he hooked me. And I fouled the crap out of him. Bam! He looked at me like, he said, okay. I'm like, you can't hook me. I ain't gonna let you score, right? So fast break happens. I dunk on Magic.
Ooh.
Man, they gave me a picture after the game.
We need the footage.
I'm trying to get it. They gave me a picture. I come back to America, let somebody see it. They stole the picture.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
goodness. And my finger in that game got caught in Magic Johnson's jersey and I almost broke. So I couldn't play probably the second half.
Right.
So I'm sat and watch, and I had to go to the hospital after. It was that bad. So I didn't get a chance to really talk to Magic after that. And I think literally we would have formed a relationship
100%.
after that.
100%. So to add on to that, would you say that experience was something that you really, kept close to you? Because, I mean, you're in killer mindset. You're not thinking about, oh, this is Magic. If you get caught up with, if you get starstruck, you're not focused.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's okay to have jitters. It's okay to have butterflies. I feel like that's a part of the game. A lot of guys still get that. KD says he still gets that, but he goes out there in killer mode.
Right.
So, butterflies, nervousness, that's normal. But to be starstruck is a whole different ball game when those brights are light, because then it's a chess match mentally. That guy got your heart.
Yeah, I've never been starstruck. I think so much is going on in the game that you have no time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are that type of person, you don't need to be playing the sport.
100%.
I tell a lot of parents, why are you screaming? Because your kid really don't hear you. You have been
100%.
screaming, and one parent thinks her son hears it. So I said, hey, do you really hear your mom? I said, I told you. And she's just screaming her heart out. She's very loud to family friends.
Yeah.
But I think parents, what I tell them to do is just, hey, enjoy the game, relax a little bit more. Don't be so stressed out. This is going to be a long journey. Sometimes you got good coaches, bad coaches. You never know.
It's going to rain some days. It's going to be sunny some days.
Yeah, politics and that thing. And,
politics, man.
Even my great little son is going through some general politics, and that's just part of life. And he'll overcome when it's his turn. And when you get your opportunity to make the best of it.
100%. 100%.
So, yeah.
To say something also about your son, I think he's talented. I've watched film on him while he was at Denver, while he was at Wheeler High School. Sam Hines Jr., if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, his son is about 6'6", good slasher, can shoot the ball when he's open, can shoot the ball contested, can shoot the ball from the mid-range, slashing, dunking, finishing. Solid guy. What would you say when you were playing professionally? Would you say that impacted any of your parenthood with him at all?
When I what? When I played?
When you played professionally, when did you have him exactly?
Oh, to start coaching, training?
When did you have him? When was he born?
Sam was born
At what point in your career?
2002, so I was in Italy.
Okay.
The second year.
Okay.
So after when
So you were balling. That was 01.
Yeah.
You were prime.
So my Italian daughter who called a moment ago.
Yeah.
She was holding my son.
Wow.
I guess 2003, 2004.
Wow.
And so it was crazy because when I retired,
Yeah.
I asked Sam this question. Don't you remember I did this and da-da-da-da? I'm like, damn, you was 3 years old. I said, no, realizing he didn't really see me and didn't understand. So that's when we went to the gym and went to work because I would train them. Then I started pushing them towards other trainers. And one of the main trainers, and I try to, with kids, you can tell them the right thing, but if he hears it from you, he'll be like, oh, now I believe it. But Chuck Person trained my son about a year and a half ago. Was very impressed. He trained actually with Scooter.
Scooter Henderson.
Yeah, we was in the gym with Scooter Henderson and Cam Reddish, younger brother. Three guys private training, and they all awesome athletes. And my son was doing this thing, and Chuck was like, man, I didn't see him do this in high school. Yeah, that's why me as a coach, I gotta have Sam to push the ball down the court, make a play off the ball, so recruiters, coaches can see and realize he can actually do other things.
Exactly.
And sometimes I think when a team is filled with so many guards, they may be better dribblers, but I think it's important to not hide other players' talents. Because if I can just see kids 6'6" push it down the court one or two times, I know he can do it, or it's a little bit more I need to work on with him. I like that kid.
100%.
So in saying that, I think he got under-recruited. He's definitely a talented, respectable kid. Coaches love him. Team player, leader, great leader. And he just does it the right way.
He also had an opportunity to play for one of the alma maters in the state of Georgia, Wheeler High School. I mean, that's a huge. There's not a lot of powerhouses out there that have the type of prestige and history that Wheeler has. You got Norcross, you got Wheeler. I mean, you got a few others out there. Definitely, I can name. But those really, they've been around for so long, and their morale, what they do over there is is actually special in my opinion. I can't vouch for the all the under the rug stuff that happens at all these schools because I went to Milton. Things happen. Just to win. The end goal is to win championships. That's the end result. But that it does something different to you when you get put in the dog pen with other dogs and people who train dogs. And a lot of kids don't understand the difference between a Wheeler and maybe another school. I don't want to throw a school out there, for example, like I'm comparing them, but just an Alpharetta high school maybe. They're not used to dogs. So you might not know how to reach a championship. You might even have guys that transferred in. You might even have guys that came from a big time school, but Wheelers of the world, as my Coach Boyd used to say, or Norcrosses of the world, or what's the private school, Greater Atlanta Christian. You got schools like that. You got other schools like Westlake. Just schools that are used to producing dogs. You got Walton had a run for a while. Centennial had a run. And they produce pros, and it is due to the coaching staff. It is due to the coach. But when you put a kid around other talented guys, they either sink or swim, in my opinion. And that tells a lot about a kid's character, because in a long shot, when you think about it, mentality, and I'm sure you heard this when you were coming up. How many times did you hear it's mostly mental? The game is a lot of, whatever percentage mental, right? And I agree because of me playing, my mental really did control a lot of my movements, just my emotional state. I was a boy. So, I mean, when you're growing up and you're going through those stages from boy becoming a young man to a young adult and now a full adult, you're going through different experiences. You're learning different things. Just depending on the situation you have with the relationship with parents, it could be hard. Some kids don't have the outlet that maybe I had, or that you were able to give your son, and still are able to give your son. Prime example, LeBron. He didn't really have a father figure. I mean, as far as an actual father, I'm sure he had father figures and coaches and trainers, mentors, role models, whatever. But it's different when it's not your dad, right?
We trained a lot to the point, you always, when you accomplish one goal, okay, what's the next goal? So when we came out of Cambridge feeder, Sam's next goal was to either go to Cambridge or Alpharetta, where we had an opportunity to go.
Definitely.
We really weren't thinking of going there.
Definitely.
And, a lot of people thought Sam played quarterback too.
Oh, wow.
He was an outstanding quarterback.
Wow.
To the point,
6'6" quarterback. That's tough.
So imagine,
Sheesh.
I kind of want him to stick with it because, what's his name? The kid who went to Clemson, long hair, played for the Jaguars.
I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Is it Lawrence?
I can't.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Coach came to came to St. Francis and met me. He was going to transfer over since he was going to Clemson to train Sam next. And they was going to build that program up around Sam.
Wow.
He was that good.
Wow.
And we won like 3 championships. And,
wow. What made him want to play? What made him choose the sport?
Football takes so much time.
It does.
It's like 4 hours.
Definitely.
Even 5, you don't have no time for basketball.
Yeah, right.
And for me, when we were at St. Francis, I know talent. So what we were doing, Sam was getting his sprints to make sure the cardio was up, get your shots up, and we were doing those things, but they thought Sam was more of a football player than a basketball player. So Sam made it a choice when he was in 11th grade. Said, "Dad, I want to focus on only basketball." And that's when I said, but the coach is coming over, opportunity to play big football. So, we had a discussion, and he let him make his choice. So he gave up football, and I think he would have been great in that as well. And
do you think your influence on him? Do you think you had an influence on him because of what you accomplished or what you did for a living?
As far as basketball?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put pressure on him either, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a tough thing. I mean,
it's like,
I mean, I can't speak from experience, but just listening and having conversation even before the episode, just understanding how much of a balance you have to have when you father.
Yeah.
And I'm a father. I'm a proud father of two sons, so I'll have to go through the similar thing. Maybe not as similar because I didn't, play at the pro level, but it's a whole different ball game when you have that type of pressure that's just naturally on you.
And I try to have conversation with him. I had it years ago. Hey, I'm not putting too much pressure on you. When I tell you stuff a tad bit aggressive, that doesn't bother you, because mom thinks that it bothers him. I said it does. She said, yes, it does. So he said, no, I'm good. He just kind of quiet. I said, good, because you need to be tough anyway. You want a wheeler.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
And Sam was a tough kid. He's quiet, but he's a beast.
Definitely.
He's that Kawhi Leonard type.
I could see that.
He
in
don't
his
say
game.
much, but he gonna shut you down.
Big time.
That's when he does really, really well. He does play great defense. He can play great offense.
Yes.
He's got to just get a tad bit comfortable. And I have no confidence. I have all the confidence in him.
Yes.
Just like I say, Chuck Person was very impressed with what he saw.
Right.
He's doing all these drills like 6'3" guards, and I never seen him. He was like, "This son's a first-round draft pick," and just walked away. That's what he said. And I left it at that. I said, "Now, Sam, keep putting the work in.
You're gonna be a pro.
You'll reach your goals."
100%.
Straight Shooters Podcast.
Keep talking right now. So, as far as Sam goes, man, I wish him the best. I think he's a talented guy. I wish him the best with this whole season. He's a sophomore, a very promising sophomore, and comes from good cloth and a good upbringing. So shout out to Sam Hines Jr. Just want to let you guys know he's tough. If you look him up on YouTube, honestly, if you look him up, his daddy won't come up as much, but daddy knows what he did. Pops know what he did. So shout out to Sam for paving the way for his son to thrive these days, and that's big time. It has to start somewhere with a foundation. So I wanted to ask you a question on the experience because I'm a big Laker guy. I've been a Laker fan since '03. I follow them every year, good or bad. And I know that's a long conversation if we talk about them guys. Lots going on over there right now. But Michael Cooper, 5-time NBA champion, NBA Defensive Player of the Year in '87. You met him. How did that go? And what did you get from that interaction?
When I was playing basketball in Italy, Michael Cooper was an Italian coach for the women's team over there. And we were maybe 20 minutes away, so on our days off, we went to see that particular team play. And I think it was some sort of 2-day event going on. So the second day he didn't play. He was sitting in the audience.
Most definitely.
We I think we were sitting near each other. We started chatting, and we sat beside each other and chatted for about 2 hours during the game.
Wow.
And I was like, towards the end of that conversation, I said, I'm doing an event, a foundation. And he said, oh, give me the address, I'll come through.
That's dope.
And he just came by to support.
That's dope.
And I'm sure when I see him again, he'll remember, because we got some pictures of
I've seen him.
He supported us and came through, basically. And I met him like that, and I was on to the next city.
Definitely. That is dope, because when you come around guys that have won multiple championships, and you want to see what these guys are about. You don't know if it's a facade. You don't know if they're really locked in as it looks. You play, and that was during the time he was winning with Magic, correct?
Yeah.
So I mean, that being a part of that team, playing with Kareem. Also, I watched the Lakers series that was on HBO Max, the Lake Show, what a series they had. Just understanding the difference in the game then, and which is my next question to you, across the board. The game was so much different then, and I don't want to say in areas that a lot of people aren't aware of. A lot of people are aware of that. The game has changed in physicality and officiating, how they protect the players today. What would you say about today's game? And that's overall across the board, because now you got different avenues. You've got the G League. You've got and that is the D League, the old D League, but it's the G League. You got guys who don't even need to go to college anymore. You got guys getting sponsorships and money now. It's receiving legal money and can be endorsed. It's just a different game now. So what would you say about the game today and how far it's come? It's all overseas talent included.
Well, as far as players getting money, I 1,000% am happy that they are getting money.
Definitely.
Because they're bringing in millions of dollars
Definitely.
for schools. When I was in school, at night we didn't really have any food to eat because the cafeteria closed maybe at 9 or whatever, and you couldn't work. So what do you do?
Right.
Luckily you met a family in the area
That'd take you in.
who kind of took us in, and filled in the gap. But
Right.
that shouldn't have to be.
Definitely.
Not when I'm doing what I'm doing.
Definitely.
Curfew and can't. It's like we're.
You locked in, and then they want you to make good grades on top of that.
Yeah, and we supposed to make good grades,
Right.
but at the same time, I don't want to be in the classroom with my stomach growling.
100%.
And then back in my day, there was no time limit as far as you can practice. They had to bring that rule in. So we had a tough coach.
That's a big one.
Yeah, we had a tough coach that went over 2 hours, and his hour and a half was tough.
Sheesh.
He said another 30 minutes, and if we don't do it right, we keep going.
On top of weights during the week, on
Yeah.
top of individual workouts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Oh my goodness.
And then you got to hustle to
Brutal.
take a quick shower and then go get food before 10 minutes it closed. Now you're rushing, and then you got curfew in 30 minutes after a long day, and it's like it just wasn't fair, but you still did what you needed to do. And we weren't the type to really speak out back in the day, but I definitely disagree with a lot of things that were going on. Sometimes I'll watch the games today. If it's not intense, I can't watch it. I'll turn on a Chicago versus Detroit game, Michael Jordan back in the day, just to
Feel that
see
competitive
real
nature.
aggressive basketball. Yeah, aggressive. I watched a football game just the other day, and we was talking about this earlier. The game, I forget which game it was, but it was low scoring.
Yeah.
But they were competing.
100%.
And I said this in my house, like, wow, this game is interesting
100%.
with some of the worst teams
Nah,
when
for
they're
sure.
competing.
For sure.
And I watched it.
Right.
And it's important for me to watch, teams compete. I mentioned this too. I'm not the person where you watch a game and, for example, in high school, teams up 30, or college teams up 30, coaches put them in with 40 seconds left. I think those kids deserve to play a lot longer, 3-4 minutes maybe.
We did talk about that,
Yeah.
and I agree with you because you got old school coaches. You still have some old school coaches in today's game, in today's high school game, college game, whatever you want to say. Even in the pros, Pop is still going. Is Pop still going? Did Pop retire?
Popovich?
Popovich.
No.
He's still going. Yeah, he's still in San Antonio. If I'm
He's gonna
correct.
give that to Becky Ham, I bet.
I'm telling you.
I was in Israel with her as well.
Really?
I was in Israel with Becky at one of my teammates, his dad was the richest attorney in Israel.
Yeah.
So he had this big party by the
Great basketball
by the
mind.
Mediterranean, and she was up in there. We got to chatting,
Wow.
and she didn't really want to be in Israel because
Wow.
she felt just like me. I should be in the pros.
Definitely.
And she says, I'm gonna make it to the pros, and I'm gonna win the champ. She literally told me that, and she went and did it. She's gonna be the first, probably the first WNBA coach.
Definitely.
And I think they're gonna push her into it.
I mean, she was a head coach of, I think, the G League Spurs team for a while. Won a championship with that G League team.
Yeah.
I think my buddy Shannon Scott was on that team too.
Okay.
And he told me from his experience that she's a great basketball mind, better than a lot of these male coaches. Not to throw gender out there, but she's a great basketball mind.
You can coach. You can coach.
You can coach. You can coach.
Like my son and I, we watch women's softball more than we watch baseball. We watch volleyball. We watch what else they play. But they're
Soccer.
just interesting. Soccer. We watch all that. And we literally softball. We're there. Oh man, she's good. Oh my gosh, she got. We just want to see athletes compete, and it just so happens we watch certain women's sports, and we definitely support the women's sports.
100%.
And we hope that Brittany Griner gets home soon.
Yes.
There's some stuff on her.
That's a big one. That's a big one, man.
Yeah,
She's done wrong, even though, that is what she did against the law, but it's not okay how they're dealing with that situation. It could be handled a lot better, and hopefully she gets back home soon to piggyback off that. So I know we're getting close to wrapping it up, so I wanted to play, kind of change the vibe up a little bit, play a little game I like to play at the end. I'm going to throw a word or phrase at you, and you let me know your initial thoughts and what comes to you when I give you that word or phrase, right?
Okay.
So the word sacrifice, what does that mean to you?
Sacrifice.
Doesn't have to be basketball related. Could be life. Could be.
Sacrifice. I would say doing what you need to do when people are not watching.
I like that. I like that. Okay. I also have another one that you can elaborate if you want. I have this next phrase: NBA or overseas.
That's a good one.
I had to throw it in there. I had to give you
Okay.
something to work with. You know.
I was told this by my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Sam, you might didn't make the NBA. You not only played in 9 countries, you lived in 9 countries. You have international friends. The NBA players don't. They might travel for a week or a month and chill out, but they don't have what I have. Now, the only thing I missed out on if I would have stayed with overseas is just make more money that's deserving.
Definitely.
Then I think I'd have been okay.
Okay.
So the
Right.
money did not show. It didn't equal up.
Right.
What I did.
Definitely,
Not even
100%,
close.
100%. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're professional, so they're still paying you. But it's not. You probably might not have felt like it was your. Today's time, you got to feel your worth. You got to know your worth, and that's huge in any profession. It doesn't have to be basketball. It could be anything.
Oh yeah. I tell my kids that all the time.
100%.
I was just in the. It was my time to be there. When I went to different teams, they had a lower budget. I'm trying to bring them up. As I bring them up, another country wants me, and I'm bringing them up. And you never stayed. I needed to go up to kind of hopefully get back to the NBA.
Definitely.
Or to the NBA.
Definitely.
But it was just my journey, and again, I'm trying to pass the knowledge on to the next generation,
Definitely.
so they can just skip all the nonsense.
Yeah.
And just get to your goal a little bit faster than I did. That's the main thing.
I'm with you on that. And to piggyback off that, I think that overseas, the avenues overseas now, I mean, the market is through the roof. I mean, just like I mentioned to you earlier today, Dwight Howard's in Taiwan. He completely just disregarded re-signing. I'm sure he could have re-signed. Dwight Howard may not be the same, but he's still obtainable in the league. As he's still an asset. When you think about all these NBA guys that are over there now, and some of them that, honestly, the NBA has shifted their draft recruiting. That tall cat, Victor, I can't really pronounce his last name, the French kid. Prime example, they're saying he's going to bring 200 or however much millions and billions of dollars to whatever team he signs to. That's crazy. And he's a boy. He's 17, 18.
Yeah, great talent.
Great talent. I give him his credit. I could say other things. I got to see him do it in real time against those bigger guys because, he is playing it professionally now, but you're playing against a little bit bigger guys once you get drafted.
Think about overseas. These kids, a lot of them don't have high school. They start pro about as young as 14 and training with those guys. But what I've seen from him, because he can shoot the way he shoots it, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. Of course, he's got to get bigger. I forgot he is thin, but I'm glad he can shoot it.
I'm with you on that.
And they've got to somehow put some weight on him.
Yeah.
Because the kid from Gonzaga, he's out for the whole season, right?
Chet, yeah. That was disappointing because I was really ready to see. I was looking forward to see what he would bring with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over there because he's a guard, a modern guard today that has that pace that everyone talks about.
He's at OKC?
Yes.
Okay.
Shai Gilgeous, he came from Kentucky, I believe.
I remember.
Big guard.
He's
I'd say
doing work,
6'4",
right?
6'5". Yeah.
I just think I just saw some highlights.
He is tough. I mean, his pace, his change of direction, change of speed, his IQ on, spacing on the floor and how he gets to his spots is unbelievable. Shout out to Shai Gilgeous, you're tough. Yeah. So the last word I'll give you is the word success. What would you say that means to you, or what would you say the word success actually hold? How do you hold that word? What does it mean to you?
I think, success is not always about money.
I agree.
It's about touching the lives of these kids. I mean, simply through my foundation. I mean, when I look back, what I've done since whoever's involved with the foundation, what we've done, it's been incredible. We took a little break from it.
Yeah.
But to have the kids see you and come up to you, and you can just tell they were appreciative. And they, I asked them what's going on with their lives, and it's all for the most part, is positive. They'll call me for advice, and just good kids that came through my program, and that's what it's all about. It's
That's what
just
it's all
leaving
about.
a legacy
Yeah.
for the next generation.
Most definitely.
Just do better, and I've learned that I needed to add certain things to the program in the future, such as how the young men, when they start to date, how they communicate with their girlfriend. Because one of the issues was simply the guy became quiet when the girlfriend was asking him questions, several questions, and I forgot what to tell you. You don't know how to respond to that. It shouldn't be all about basketball and sports.
Right.
So we'll add that to the foundation, how to continue to communicate.
Communication skills are key. People get divorced off communication. I mean, let's be real. It's a skill to become a good communicator.
And the thing about Sam, he wanted to major in broadcasting. So
that's dope. That's dope.
I put him in front of Vince Politan and Lisa Rayam. That's two of his mentors.
Man,
so he sat
great
and interviewed
mentors.
them.
Wow.
And they were impressed with him because I always told him, I want you to be articulate and to pronounce your words clear.
100%.
And he's like, I'm clear. No, man, that ain't clear. Enunciate.
Definitely.
Finish it.
Definitely.
So he did very well, and then he went to something at his school, and it had to do with finance. And his major is broadcast. And the financial guy said, if you need a job in finance, come see me. And that's not even his major.
Wow.
And because he was articulate,
Definitely. That opened the avenues.
He said, you right, Dad.
It opens doors.
And then, to shout out his mom. His mother is his / engineer.
Oh, wow.
And-
That's big time. My dad's an engineer.
And an
Wow.
attorney.
Ooh, she's tough.
And then she made all A's in school. And I told my
She
kids,
had to make A's with that
Yeah.
with that type of career path.
I told my
Oh,
kids.
man.
I told my kids I made the other grades, other letters.
Man.
So we're balanced.
Right.
But no, she when she heard about my upbringing, she said, "Man, really," she honestly said, "You should go back and sue the county, the school, because she learned that I was articulate. I learned Italian when I was in Italy, and I'm starting to do all these things because I was motivated to. And as I learned the next thing, I'm like, and I missed out on all this. I didn't have one mentor. I said, it burns me, man. So I could care less about sports.
Right.
Parents, if your kids, if academics not first, we're leading them down the wrong hole because they're
100%.
one injury away from being lost.
100%.
I mean, a kid think when they hurt their knee, they can't do anything else. It's sad.
100%.
The beginning is wrong. So in our program,
And I've
it's
seen
like-
that firsthand.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. It's like they're depressed.
Oh, that's exactly what happens. Mental illness is real. So when you think about it, across the board, even with sports, I mean, I've seen it firsthand with a couple of people, associates I know, and when the ball, I don't like to use the quote stops bouncing because, I mean, I don't play anymore, but I'm around the game so much that
Right.
I don't feel like I'm not around the game.
There's other avenues.
There's other avenues.
And the thing about when I was going to retire, my wife, she asked what was I going to get into. We actually became Subway franchisees.
Wow.
So we had my gym and 2 Subways. And people up here didn't know that was our Subway they were going to. So we were, diverse,
You have to be.
And the thing about it, I when I was working in Subway, that was my passion. That's when that gym opened because I wanted to be around the kids. And that was what I wanted to be. And so we are out of Subway business, but we had a plan, and we executed that plan. And the kids also got a chance in the gym, got a chance to work there. And then we talk about entrepreneurship.
Oh, 100%. And that builds a kid's mind up how to articulate things, how to be around an environment that involves business. A work ethic. Work ethic is huge. Kids don't today. I mean, technology slowed down a lot of kids' work ethic because they get distracted. And I'm a first-hand guy that sees that with my kids. My son loves his tablet, so I started bringing him to the gym with me.
Okay.
Get him away from the tablet. Back when I was growing up, most definitely had, phones and Nintendo 64s and, things come along the way, technology's growing. But now, I mean, my son, he scrolls up and down as if he's one of us. He's 3.5. He scrolls up and down, he clicks, he exits, he clicks here, he clicks there. And that is, and my brother talks to me a lot about it and says, you got to get him off the tablet. And he's right. But he loves the game. So what I started to do was I said, you know what, let me bring him to the gym with me so he gets off that tablet and he gets, he's interacting and seeing okay, when we miss a free throw, we got to do it down and back. He sees discipline. He sees structure.
Right.
And it's not just sitting on a tablet and watching God knows what. Sometimes it's not even substance. It's just, this little guy talking in a little kiddie voice, and he's a grown man.
My
Daughter, Blippy or something,
I was
man.
shocked. My daughter said to me about, I don't know, a month ago, she said that I got off social media. She said I found myself just on it, same old cute stuff. But it was like taking so much from me. And now she's about to graduate from Georgia State.
That's big time.
Science.
That's big time.
Now, I didn't mention her, but she's very intelligent. Player
Yes.
of the year in volleyball
That's
twice.
dope.
A
That's
stud
dope.
in her own right. She's got a job offer from Aetna before she graduated. So that's, again, when we talk about academics and what's important, she was a player of the year. She chose not to go to college because of some politics, too.
Oh,
she said, I'd
100%.
rather just go to school, chill out, prepare for my future. And she's doing that. So proud of her. She graduated in a month. We're going to celebrate.
Oh, you have to.
And she's incredible, too.
Definitely.
So as much as I talk about Sam, hey, she holds her own.
100%, and you got best of both worlds. I mean, I wish me and my lady. She I mean, we have two sons, but I honestly was thinking that this newborn that we have that's a son was going to be a daughter. Before we did the gender reveal, so I was preparing my mind to have that balance.
Yeah.
But what you said was key about success not having to really do with money. People who really try to influence not just the community but the next generation. That's how they think, and I will sit here and say that's huge to hear you come from someone of your stature that's done what you've done in all these different countries and what you've accomplished in your career. That's huge because, I mean, I hate to say it, but yes, a lot of guys in the league do it, but the motives are different now, and the money is flowing. It's a good and a bad thing because sometimes that money can change things.
I looked at an article. It said McDonald's All-American who once were millionaires who are broke now. And I went down that list and I was just like, and it wasn't too long ago, 10, 15 years, like, how in the heck y'all broke with all that money? Who's around your circle?
Right.
It's so sad, but
That is
crazy.
True. It is crazy. It is crazy.
It makes no sense.
Right. Well, I got one more question
Okay.
for you, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to throw some shout-outs out there. Has Sam beat you one-on-one yet?
Oh, yeah. I think
Respectfully and humbly, you answered that. You answered that humbly.
my hip started hurting. So he knows this. I was talking to the family. I said, my goal is for him not to beat me before I turn 50. Mm-hmm. And right before 50.
How old are you now?
I'm 52.
Okay.
So right
You
before,
look good, man. You look like you about 30, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right before 50, the hip was inflamed or something like that. So at Wheeler, man, he went around me. He was dunking on me. The wife was laughing. And but I told her this so you kids can understand. We was at Lifetime Fitness about a year ago.
Yeah.
I said, but he still's not better than me 5-on-5. What you mean? I said it's different. If I got a pick and roll going, I can shoot. So I just need a little bit of space.
Right.
So we were going to 18, and I came down, and I don't know why they penetrated, and he helped and left me open in the corner.
Bucket.
Came down, we stole the ball. I'm at half court, and I push it. I'm old now. I'm a great actor. I'm pretending like I'm going to the hoop. 2 dribbles, stopped up, NBA 3, 6 points. So now he's on me. So then I take him to the post, and I do the dirt and the biscuit on him. 8. Then I think for the game winner, there was a pick and roll. He jumped under. I crossed back over, and I shot it. He hits me in the face, and I walked to the thing. It was game. So we were going to 18. I had at least 15. And the whole gym was like, so 5-on-5 movement and stuff like it's different.
It is different.
You got a little help on defense.
Right.
And look, I think he respects me. He knows.
Oh, yeah.
But he
You
knows,
OG.
He knows, but when I tell him, I said, but at your age, when we were the same age, I said, you're so much better than me. I said, please understand that. I said, I wasn't doing all that.
Definitely.
But I said, it's about your mentality, being ready. Being ready before you get the ball. Little stuff like that. Are you really
Small
ready?
details.
Are you really down in your shooting position? No.
Right.
I said, do it again.
Right.
But Dad, Sam, you're 50% shooting, but if you do it my way with the hop, you're 80%. So why won't you do the hop? Explain that to me. So I really got to challenge him.
Definitely, and that's huge because that's a lot of fathering. That's parenthood, and a lot of people don't understand. That's a lot, man. When you're challenging your son, and it's just like a headache. I mean, my dad used to do it to me all the time. I didn't know why. He used to put my hand and tie a belt around me with my right hand, and I got to use my left hand, and he tied my right hand up, and I'm like, what is this for?
You say you want to play ball?
Put me with a shot doctor, changed my whole shot up. That's when I became a shooter. Mm-hmm. And I definitely will give both my parents even credit because they both had different jobs, both had different roles, but they were both there for me and supportive. So yeah, man, that's dope because I aspire and envision those moments with my son, to be able to challenge him and watch him grow. Watch him become something that you didn't even expect.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got the best kids. I mean, they everybody goes through ups and downs sometimes. But
Definitely.
Other than that, they're the best.
100%.
They're the best. They know that.
Most definitely, man. I want to give some shout outs. Shout out to my guy Jay for allowing me to use this dope barbershop. He chopped me and my boy Sam up today. If you guys ever need a cut, just holla at me, or holla at my guy over here, he'll let you know. We'll give you some information on him. Shout out to my guy Don, camera guy. He's huge. Always comes through for me. Great content, and I appreciate. Last but not least, my guy Sam Hines. I appreciate you, man. It's been a pleasure. And honestly, just picking your brain about the game, about life, about all these different topics, and some things we didn't even get to touch on that I would like to, but I would love to have you on the show again, and just listening to what you've been through and how you are, like I said from the jump, a prime example of creating opportunity from basketball, is honestly huge because that's a lot of things guys like myself included at the time when I was playing didn't understand. And if I maybe understood, I may have handled things a little differently, just maneuvering through my journey, collegiate-wise, and just trying to play at the next level. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for joining the show.
Loved it.
It's been a pleasure being in this dope vibe, and that's about it. We'll see you guys next episode, and I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you.
Straight Shooters Podcast.
Manhood, but the culture is who I am too. Let's get straight to
Straight Shooters Podcast.